वाला इशू सबसे ज़्यादा हावी है बाजार पे। मैंने आपको निकुंज का व्यू सुनवाया, आपको एसबीआई ने क्लैरिफिकेशन दी, अब आपको हम फाइनेंस सेकी का भी व्यू सुनवाते हैं। यूजुअली वो ऐसे स्पेसिफिक कॉर्पोरेट मैटर्स पे जवाब नहीं देते, लेकिन उन्होंने हमारे कॉलीग एन तारा राय से बातचीत की। आइए हम उसका भी आपको छोटा सा झलक सुनवा देते हैं।
Mr. Somnathan, if you will permit me, I said it right at the front. The stock markets, we should have seen a big budget rally. It didn't happen because of another news, a carnage once again in the Adani group of stocks, because this time Credit Suisse doesn't want to accept the bonds. Says the government of India, is this an area of concern? Just because we've seen the banks never looking better, and look what we're reading now every other day, and the group says it's an attack on India.
First of all, I think I will only speak from the point of view of the banks, the financial institutions. I am not here to comment on the finances, good or bad, of any private sector company, not my business, not something the government's business either. But just in terms of the banks and the financial institutions, I think the exposure to any one company is so small that to connect the fortunes of any one company with those of either LIC or nationalized banks is, I think, not very justified or rational. I think the total exposures are small, and yes, there are always companies that do well and companies that do badly. Institutions spread their investments across a big portfolio, and I think there is less than 1% concentration of any one company at this moment which in the portfolios of any of these financial institutions. So I don't think that's a big enough concern. In fact, I don't think that is a reason for influencing the prices of public sector banks in the days to come. So okay. I personally don't think that's a valid, logical chain of reasoning to connect a particular company with the fate of our public sector banks. I think the numbers involved are too small to make such a connection.
And if I may add, the valuation of a company has got nothing to do with whether or not, on its ability to repay a loan. Its ability to repay a loan depends on the profits, on the cash flows, which the banks believe are sufficient. The valuations is what, the markets are looking at. It's not the cash flows, and the cash flows are looked after, by the banks.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
Because we have spoken to LIC as well as SBI on record, and they have reiterated that they are not concerned about the exposure.
About the valuations. They are not concerned about the valuations because that
not about their exposure. Not about their exposure.
Yeah. So then, what we are seeing, does the Adani Group have merit in saying it's an attack on India?
I will not comment on the views of individual private sector companies. You have to ask them.
देखिए, बहुत बड़ी सफाई है ये। फाइनेंस सेकी खुद बता रहे हैं कि उन्होंने रिव्यू किया है सिचुएशन को। यूजुअली वो रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करते हैं, बट जो एक्सपोजर है एज अ परसेंटेज ऑफ ओवरऑल एक्सपोजर इतना छोटा है कि उनको किसी तरह का बहुत भारी रिस्क नज़र नहीं आता। ये बहुत बड़ी ऑनगोइंग स्टोरी है। इसको हम हर एंगल से आपके लिए एनालाइज कर रहे हैं ताकि आप बेटर ट्रेडिंग या इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजन बाजार में ले सकें।